everyone, Kat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope you're in the mood for a Grimm tale. If not, check the links in the description box down below. I've got all the cute puppies and other readings and reviews and all that fun stuff for you. And if you find something you like, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's fun. Because today we have another one that, of course, I have not heard of. All the ones that I actually knew, I read for y'all before I decided, like, I'm just gonna read this entire friggin' book, or at least try to. So this week is the 25th book in the series, and it is The Seven Ravens. So, shall we get into it and maybe not disturb the puppy? We had the other one, which is why I'm sitting a little off, because she was laying here, and as soon as I, like, grabbed my book, she's like, oh, well then, you're disturbing my nap, and now she's asleep on the floor. Like, I scooched over so I wasn't touching you. She was just gonna be a cute little half asleep head over here. But no, maybe she'll wake up. Maybe not. We'll see. So instead, you get a cute little sleepy little man, but you can't see his cute little face over here. And it is a very short story today, so yeah, we'll see what we get to. There once was a man who had 7 sons, and no matter how much he wished for a little daughter, his wish remained unfulfilled. Because everybody wants a little girl. Except for the ones that don't. Then one day his wife gave him hope of another child, and when the baby was born, it was indeed a girl. Their joy was great, but the child was sickly and small. What's wrong with being small? We're fun-sized. And because she was so weak, she had to be baptized at home. The father sent one of the boys to run quickly to the well for some baptismal water. The other 6 ran along with him, and since each of them scrambled to be the first to draw the water, the pitcher fell into the well. There they stood, not knowing what to do, nor did any of them dare to go home. When they failed to return, their father grew impatient and said, those wicked boys must have forgotten what I sent them to do. They're probably playing games again. He was afraid that his daughter might die without being baptized, and in his anger he exclaimed, I wish those boys would all be turned into ravens. That's a very strange wish, but okay. No sooner had he uttered those words than he heard a whirring over his head, and when he looked up, he saw 7 ravens, black as coal, flying up and away. It was too late for the parents to revoke the curse, and even though they were sad about the loss of their 7 sons, they were comforted to a certain extent by their dear little daughter, who grew stronger and more beautiful with each day that passed. For a long time, she was unaware that she had brothers, because her parents took great care not to mention them. But one day she overheard some people talking about her and saying that she was indeed beautiful. She was actually the one who had caused the misfortune that had struck her 7 brothers. Upon hearing this, she was greatly distressed. She went to her father and mother and asked whether she had brothers and what had happened to them. Her parents could no longer keep the secret from her. However, they said the will of heaven had been responsible for her brother's fate and not her own birth. Nevertheless, their fate weighed heavily on the maiden's conscience, and she believed it was up to her to rescue them. From then on, she had no peace of mind, and finally she secretly set out into the wide world to find some trace of her brothers and free them, no matter what it might cost. The only things she took with her were a little ring as a memento to remind her of her parents, a loaf of bread to still her hunger, a jug of water to quench her thirst, and a little stool to rest on when she became tired. She set out, walking straight ahead, and went far, far away until she reached the end of the world. She came to the sun, but it was too hot and terrible, and it ate little children. Least gingers, too. So she turned away from there as quickly as she could and ran to the moon. But it was too cold, not to mention gruesome and wicked. When it saw the girl, it said, I smell something. I smell human flesh. Immediately she scampered away and went to the stars, which were friendly and kind to her. Each one was sitting on its own little chair, but the morning star stood up, handed her the drumstick of a chicken, and said, if you don't have this drumstick, you won't be able to open the glass mountain, and that's where you'll find your brothers. So you gotta eat some fried chicken to open things? I'm okay with that. Can we get some hot sauce? The girl took the drumstick, wrapped it carefully in a piece of cloth, and continued traveling until she reached the glass mountain. The gate was locked, but she was prepared to take out the drumstick. Yet, when she began unfolding the cloth, she found it was empty. Indeed, she has lost the gift of the good, kind stars. What was she to do now? She waited to rescue her brothers, but did not have a key to the glass mountain. So the good sister took a knife, cut off a little finger, stuck it in the gate, and was fortunate enough to unlock it. After she entered, a little dwarf came to her and said, "What are you looking for, my child?" "I'm looking for my brothers, the 7 ravens," she replied. "The Lord Ravens are not at home," the dwarf said, "but if you wish to wait here until they return, come right in." Then the dwarf brought in the raven's meal on 7 little plates, along with 7 little cups, and their sister ate a tiny morsel from each one of the plates, and took a sip from each one of the cups. When she came to the last cup, she took the ring that she had been carrying with her and dropped it into the cup. All at once there was a whirring and a fluttering noise in the air, and the dwarf said, "Now the Lord Ravens will soon be home." When they arrived, they wanted to eat and drink and went straight to their plates and cups. Each one in his turn cried out, "Who's been eating from my plate? Who's been drinking from my cup?" It was a human mouth. When the 7th brother got to the bottom of his cup, a little ring rolled out. He looked at it and recognized it as the ring that had belonged to his parents. "God grant us that our little sister may be here. Then we'd be saved," he said. The maiden was standing behind the door, and when she heard that, she came out, and all the ravens regained their human form. They hugged and kissed each other and went happily home. That's got a lot of, 3 little bears vibe to it there, but happy enough. I was expecting something a little bit darker than that, but that's okay. And we'll skip the red cap because we've already read that one. And yep, we've got another. Oh, this one, another short one for next week. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.